What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and last night was crazy. And this is a good story that has got a lot of good lessons in it. And I can't even make this stuff up. It's crazy. So last night, we went to horse racing and the corgi races. The small dogs with the low legs that run around. It's super fun. We get back, and I was really tired and I had to work early. Get up at 3 a.m. So I went to bed early, and I'm getting good sleep. And then my daughter wakes up. So I go check on what's up her. She keeps saying I'm scared. And I'm like, okay. It's okay. Just go back to sleep, baby. You'll be okay. And then, a little bit later, 30 minutes, I'm scared. And this all happened between like 9:45 and like 11 o'clock almost. And I keep saying, go back to sleep. You're scared. So she came back to lay with us somewhere in between there. She came and slept with me and my wife. She's scared. She's crying. She needs to get good sleep. I need good sleep. So we brought her in with us. Then she wakes up again saying she's really scared. And I noticed that there's this loud noise that's been outside our house the whole time. And it's a loud old truck. And you can tell it's some sort of vehicle because there's these, your taillights are red and they're super bright. And I see that coming through our window. And I'm like, what is going on? It's too late for this. It's really weird. And there's a truck, a man sitting in a truck, super weird. I try not to judge a book by its cover. It's off. You don't sit in front of someone's house at 10:45, 11 o'clock at night with a truck that is super loud, making noise. It's old, rusted. It is what it is. It's not a big deal, but there's just etiquette to life, and you don't usually do that. You don't sit in front of someone's house, and it turns out this person was sitting out in front of my house for over an hour and 15 minutes. And I was so exhausted from working all weekend and stuff like that I just I must have not paid attention at first. So that's lesson number one, always paying attention to what's going on. My daughter keeps saying she's scared. I thought it was just the air conditioning turning on and off that she was scared about. That noise was actually a truck sitting outside of our house. So when I get like a little anxious about this, and I grab my Glock 26 and I start looking out the window and start going to the front window of my house. Not the front door, the front window. The front door, we're on a split leveled house, so the front door is on its own level. And I'm up still above, I can see down in, and it's just this guy, and it's just super weird. And I'm so confused what's going on. And so I'm talking to my wife all of a sudden, and she's like, yeah, we were getting that bed frame. And I told the person 9:30. And the guy came to our house at 9:30 at night. And, my wife is a beautiful blonde girl. She's smaller. And in my opinion, that's bad. You don't buy something from someone on Facebook Marketplace at 9:30 at night, especially as a woman. My wife meant 9:30 a.m. when it's bright out, when the neighbors are around, when when there's stuff going on. Not 9:30, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. That's, once again, etiquette. That's not normal. So I got to thinking, this is really weird that someone wants to sell you a big bed frame at 9:30 at night, knowing you're this beautiful blonde girl that's small and probably couldn't handle yourself, against a man. And the fact that you sat outside of our house for 115 or an hour and 15, hour and a half, and the amount of money you'd be making was like nothing. The bed frame wasn't that expensive. I know if I was going to go sell something to someone on Marketplace or Craigslist, and I met with them, if they're not there in 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'm gone. Nothing I'm selling is going to be making me enough money to sit around for an hour, hour and a half. That, especially outside someone's house at 9:30 at night, especially with an engine that sounds like that. That's not proper etiquette. So that just makes me think something weird was going on. Maybe he realized that she's, a smaller blonde girl, and it is what it is. You got to keep in mind, I have 2 kids in my house. Like I said, my daughter was so scared she came to sleep with us. And it was actually really, nerve-wracking and scary when you start thinking about the situation that could have happened, what this was. When you tell someone 9:30 as a small, blonde, beautiful woman, you don't mean 9:30 at night, obviously. But this person, for some reason, thought, okay, I'm going to drive there and sit in front of the house for an hour and a half. And, if it's a miscommunication, fine. But to me, it's sketchy. They have our address, and so there's a good lesson learned from that, too. If you are going to buy from someone something like that, I'm going to try and do it. And I told her only to mess with women from now on. Do not get anything from guys, unless I'm home, or on top of that, if I go to meet them. Because Marketplace is a great place for, everything. It is what it is. Craigslist I try to stay away from, but we use Marketplace. Never an issue. Usually everyone comes during the day, that you leave the stuff on your front porch. This man sat in front of our house for an hour and a half with a bed frame he'd be making like nothing on. It just doesn't make sense. So another thing I took away from it was having your firearm handy, but also having backup mags and having a plan. So I had my firearm handy. It did have a light on it, but when I was thinking, as this all was happening and my adrenaline started to go down again, I'm like, he eventually noticed me looking out the window, and he did this little U-turn and then pulled right back in front of my house. And I'm so confused what's going on, because I didn't know about the Craigslist or the Facebook Marketplace thing at the time. So it was really weird to me, and I was like, what is this dude doing? Like, this is just, we know he's in front of our house because that's the only house, And anyways, one thing I took from it is having a plan. Now, my son's bedroom is closer to the entryway of our house, our main entryway. And that really made me nervous. So basically, I after that, we stayed up for a little later, talking about everything we could do differently, talking about a plan. And my number one thing was to get our son. If you hear any noise, if anything on the Ring doorbell, if our big 70-pound golden retriever starts barking, immediately grab my son and bring him to the bedroom. And then I will go take care of it. And then also, a lot of people like having flashlights on their firearms. Now, I've seen videos where people don't have a flashlight on their firearm. Therefore, it is very, very, it works out for them when they do this. They sit in a room that's pitch black and they let the person enter, and that person has zero idea, and you have the drop on them. So the number one thing you need to do is turn all the lights off. That will usually give you the drop on them. Your eyes will adjust. You'll get time to adjust. And if you want to use your flashlight, that's perfect. But what I say is the flashlight can also give your position away. So I think in that moment, you need to decide, am I going to use the flashlight on the firearm or no flashlight? Because the way my house is set up, it's going to be different from you guys. I have so many different vantage points to that front door that if I sat with all the lights off, I'm going to have an easier chance to get the drop on these people that are breaking in or trying to harm my family. Now, if I have a flashlight, they know where I am. If it's a couple people, it's going to be harder to take care of that situation than just one person. They might be able to bust back, if you have a flashlight. If you don't, your muzzle flash, will give it away, but you will have the drop. By the time someone can react, you might have a couple shots off on target. And once again, this is self-defense situations, you defending your house, your kids, your family. The other thing is making sure access to backup mags. I immediately grabbed my backup mag. I noticed first thing during this, I'm like, thank God I grabbed that, because, it's nerve-wracking in these situations. You're not thinking straight. I know this sounds like petty and stuff, but it's weird. Like, when it comes to human etiquette, you don't sit outside someone's house for an hour and a half at night. It just seemed like a creepy old man. And also, when we were looking for the bed frame, like in his truck and stuff, it wasn't what he said he was selling. It's weird, dude. I'm just saying it's weird. And so I told her I may be overreacting, but I'd rather overreact than have to deal with this situation. So, of course, make sure your doors are locked. Make sure you have a good security system. Ring doorbells. I have a 70-pound golden retriever that will let me know, give me the drop that anything's about to happen, before, and that'll give me enough time to react. Go run and get my son, bring him back into the bedroom, and then find a good spot somewhere in my house. That's how my house is set up. Have a plan in your house, because you never know. Things can go south at any moment. This person could have been, wanting something completely different, not knowing that I'm in that house, and he could have busted in there and done whatever, he thought. And this is everyday reality. There's people like this out there. I'm not saying he was like that, but there's a chance he could have been, because just based off human etiquette, I would never sit outside someone's house for an hour and a half at night, let alone 20 minutes. I wouldn't even meet someone from Marketplace at night. That makes no sense. That doesn't make sense. That's sketchy. So that whole situation given, I learned a lot last night, and I actually I'm not happy it happened, but I'm glad that I could take stuff away from it and make a plan and talk to her on what to do, basically to take the kids, go, get in the closet, where we got safes and all that might, help protect you if anything were to happen, and I will go take care of the situation. We know where the backup firearms are, the mags, the easy access safes, that whole sort of thing. Also, easy access safes are huge. Have them around your house with extra mags, out of your kids' reach if you have firearms in them. Keep your firearms safe, but also make sure you have a plan. That's the biggest thing I took from it.